Hi, welcome to Sheepish, episode 37. Today is Sunday, May 4th, 2014, and I'm Holly. And this is George. Say hi, baby. He's not going to stay very long, but I thought I'd have him say hi because he hasn't said hi in a little while. Um, it is Sheep and Wool weekend here in the DC area. Maryland Sheep and Wool was yesterday and today. I went up yesterday and I had tons of fun. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So what's happening chez Sheepish? Excuse me. Well, one of the things that I wanted to um, say was that I'm going to put off the drawing for the April Socks thread. We didn't get as much response this month as we have in past. So I'm just going to go ahead and make that executive decision to have April and May, just do it all together in June. So yes, so if you have yet to get things in, definitely get those socks into the thread. You never know, I might decide to do 2 drawings that month. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to combine those. So I'm going to go into the Groupon Ravelry and I'm going to change the title of that thread to reflect April and May. So yeah. So current roster, that really hasn't changed. Not all that much. I really haven't worked on anything. The Thank You for Being a Friend socks out of Knitter's Nightmare is still in the exact same spot. Maybe I think I've gotten ribbing on it since the last time you saw. The Into the World Mercy Hardigan colors socks, haven't touched them at all this week, or over the past 2 weeks. So they're in the exact same spot. Yeah. I haven't worked on my cross stitch and I really want to do that, so I'm hopefully going to get some time to do that over the next couple of days. But the dearth of knitting, I should say, has happened because there have been other things that have gone on the needles and come off the needles, which brings us right into the alumni roster. Yes. So if you have noticed, I'm wearing something. Yeah. On Saturday, so not yesterday, but last Saturday, I was struck with the brilliant idea. I guess Friday night, I was struck with the brilliant idea. I should knit something to wear to Sheep and Wool on Saturday. I can do that. Let me find something. And I went into my library on Ravelry, and I saw Liesel, which is a cardigan by Isolde Teague. And it's done in a worsted to chunky weight yarn on 10.5s or 10 3/4 needles. Next thing you know, I bought the yarn at Fiberspace. So the yarn is, sorry for all of that extra noise outside, but the yarn is Neighborhood Fiber Company's Studio Chunky in the Sheridan Circle colorway. And I got 3 skeins. For my size, in the pattern, it said that I should use just under 500. And these are skeins with 300 yards put up. I knew that that wasn't going to happen. I knew that I was going to make it longer. I knew a whole bunch that I was going to do to it. But I got 3 skeins to be on the safe side. And I'm glad that I did because I used this skein, and you can see that's broken up into 2 because there was a knot in it, and so I swatched from this skein, and I did 2 very big swatches so I could see if I was going to be using 10.5s or 10.75s at like the pattern suggested, and the 10.75s went out. So this is what's left of that first skein that I swatched from and then immediately put to the side because I figured that that would be my extra if I needed to, because I was going to be good. I decided I was going to be good, and I was going to actually work this in alternating skeins, which is a pain in the butt to do, as anybody who's alternated skeins like a good little person, good little knitter knows. Because I had a whole bunch of other stuff to contend with on this. So what's left of the original 2 balls? These ends and this. So approximately 3 yards of yarn is left. So approximately 597 yards. I mean, of course, Karita tends to err on the side of heavier rather than lighter when it comes to her skeins. So I probably did use about 600 yards. But yeah, that's all that's left. I played Yarn Chicken and won. I had to explain Yarn Chicken on Instagram, or not on Instagram, on Facebook to somebody. And if you don't know Yarn Chicken, just about everybody's played Yarn Chicken. So the game of chicken, you'll see it in like those movies in the 50s. I'm going to move over this way so I'm a little more centered, where you've got the 2 cars running, racing towards each other, and the one who pulls off first is chicken. Yarn Chicken works similarly in that you're racing to the end of that project and you see that you have lesser and lesser yarn and you don't know if you're going to run out. So you can do a few things. You can just look at it and go, all right, I know I'm not going to have enough, and just add in that ball of yarn there. Or you can race to the end. One of 2 things is going to happen. You're either going to run out with either a few rows or like a row or a couple stitches left, and you'll have to add in a ball of yarn or rip back. Or you just eke it out. I played Yarn Chicken with both of these sleeves, and I just eked it out. And so, yeah, this was from what was left over from sleeve 2 and at all my ends. I had, from sleeve 1, I had approximately 18 inches of yarn. Sleeve 2, I had a little bit more than that left over. Yeah. Go me. So anyway, let me back up and I will stand up. So this is Liesl by Isolde T. And if you are thinking about knitting Liesl, I will say knit it for your upper bust size. The reason that, let me try and get the wheels to work on this chair. The reason that I say knit for the upper bust size is that if I had knit for my full bust, this wide neckline would be out to here. And so that would consequently mean that it's falling off of my shoulders. I don't have much in the way of shoulders. So everything falls off my shoulders. But even if I did have slightly broader shoulders, I probably would do the same thing. I'd knit for my upper bust size. Now, I was worried when I was knitting for my upper bust size that it wasn't going to be big enough in my full bust area. And I couldn't figure out exactly where the best, like how to add the increases in. Like my brain was not firing on that. So I opted to just go ahead and knit the upper bust. So I knit, my upper bust is a 41. The closest in size is a 42. So I knit the 42. And I was worried about it for a while. and I just finally just let it go. I had decided that Crazy Pants knitting was starting, and I was just going to go ahead and knit this, and I was going to wear it come hell or high water, knowing that I could always pick out the cast on or the bind off edge and just add to it, or just rip it out completely and start over. I'm glad I went with the 42. It fits wonderfully. I like the fact, because I mean, Liesl is supposed to open up and swing out. So I like how that works on me. I knit this 25 total repeats of the lace from the upper neck down to the bottom. And the sleeves are 8 repeats long. I'm thinking that I might go back and pick out the bind offs and then add on and knit to about 3/4 length. We'll see. But I love this. The weather yesterday was perfect for something like this. It was sunny and it was breezy, so I never got too hot, which is nice. I did, however, get sunburned. So you can see here on my nose and my forehead, the back of my neck and my upper back got sunburned. And when I took this off last night and I looked in the mirror, I saw that I have a tan line at least, if not a burn, in the shape of the lace on my shoulder. I'm special. But yeah, so this is Liesl. I am extremely pleased with how it came out. I was knitting this down to the wire. I finished it up on Friday night at about 8-ish, maybe it was 8:30. Once I did that, I immediately wove in ends. I threw it in my bathroom sink to soak. Pulled it out, got it out on the bed on a towel, blocked it out and put a fan on it. It stayed like that until a little after midnight, because I had to go to bed. I was meeting Michelle really early when we were driving up. So by the time I turned off the fan, or I unpinned it from the bed, the front was almost dry. The sleeves were still a little damp and the back was damp, but the front was dry. So I immediately tried it on and I loved how it looked. So I draped a towel across a couple of laundry baskets that were kind of precariously, opened up the cardigan so that way the back got some air, and put the fan on it and just kept the fan on it all night. Everything but the sleeves were still damp in the morning, but everything else was bone dry. I loved it. It was perfect. It was like all of the knitting gods were saying, you shall wear this. Your craziness shall be rewarded. So I did wear this. I got tons of compliments yesterday. Yeah, I'm just so very happy. So yay. Alumni roster finished object. That's not the only thing I finished. So that's right, a plied bobbin. For those of you who don't remember, this is Gourmet Stash's Fibery Tribbles in the Undisclosed Emerald Desires colorway. These have been on, so it's 6 ounces, and I basically did 2 ounces on 3 bobbins, and I 3-plied this together. There was a little creative stuff going on at the end, but the majority of this is a traditional 3-ply. Yeah, they're finally done. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah. I'm so happy with this. Yeah, so coming home from Sheep and Wool yesterday, I knew that I needed to ply this because I wanted to empty out the wheel so I could Excuse me. Wow, there's something in my throat, and when I coughed, wow, it just triggered that. So I knew I wanted to ply this up, get this off the wheel, empty out bobbins, so that way I could use more bobbins. Yay! So this is the Undisclosed Emerald Desires colorway. It is, I haven't actually checked this on with a Wraps Branch tool or with my iSpin app. But this I'd say is about a sport to DK. I'd say probably a good DK. Now, you'll notice that there are a few different things going on. Like there's a barber pulling here. Come on, you can focus. Come on. There we go. So you'll notice that there's some barber pulling, and it looks like it's just a generally rounder ply, and then here it's really narrow, and here you've got a little bit of the same, but it looks like it's a much tighter ply. Well, and I know I shouldn't have done this. I know I should have broken the yarn and then just started anew. But I ran out, so I got all three plied onto here, and I didn't realize it at first, so I don't know how far back it went, but I ran out of that first bobbin and I started two-plying. Well, since it was A, late, and B, I didn't know how far back it went. I mean, I could have figured that out. That was easy, but I just kept going with it. And then when the second bobbin ran out, I decided to do a quick and dirty chain ply. It's been a while since I've done that, so that part's the messiest, and it's got the most twist in it. But all in all, I'm really happy with how this turned out. And it's pretty, it's squishy. I don't think I'm going to be able to use it for something for me, but I'm hoping I can use it for something for somebody else. So I will I will put this on the Niddy Noddy in a day or so. I'm just going to let it rest on here. I'll put this on the Niddy Noddy and figure out my yardage. But I am so very pleased with that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for finished, yeah, for the alumni roster, because I was focused. This was going to happen. Crazy pants knitting, but I knew I could do it. I just knew I was going to be stressed, and I did it anyway, so. So, the scouting report. As I mentioned, this weekend is Maryland Sheep and Wool. It is always the first weekend in May, and I don't always go. Last year was the first time I'd gone in like 4 years. This year, Michelle and I went again. Excuse me, my nose. The fiber and the cat, all, yeah. So this year, Michelle and I went. I was handing out buttons. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw the picture of this bag of buttons when I first got it. So we handed out approximately that many between the two of us. For a while, I kept the bag. I was wearing a backpack. I kept the bag in the backpack, and whenever I saw anybody who recognized me, or yeah, I had to take off the backpack, reach in, fumble, grab a button. Michelle is smart. Michelle had the brilliant idea of me handing her buttons, and she would just keep them in her pocket. And then I did that, and we handed out so many more. But this is my button. You can see that it's the logo, and it's got the website at the bottom. I'm very happy with how this turned out. I got these from halfpricebuttons.com. They were actually a decent price. They worked with me with the logo because originally when I sent them the logo, told them what I wanted, they had the logo much smaller and the website much bigger. So I worked with them a little bit just to say, hey, can you make the logo bigger and the website really tiny around the bottom? And they did. And I love how they turned out. Um, I got these, I forgot that I had sent those to work to be delivered at work. So when I got them, I was just like, yay, just in time for Sheep and Wool, and then posted a picture on Instagram. So yeah, anybody who gets anything from me in the next, for the next while will probably get one of those in a package. I also got Moo cards, which I did not hand out yesterday because I totally just forgot about it and I was so focused on the buttons. So my Moo cards are 3 of my pictures. And on the back is the logo and all of my information. Which I think is a great way to, great way to market. I mean, I'm not making money off of this, but I love the idea. I love having stuff. So yeah. So Sheep and Wool was fantastic. Michelle and I got up early. We got coffee and food and then drove up to West Friendship, Maryland, which is where the Howard County Fairgrounds are located, which is where it is every year. And we got there at a decent time. I mean, there was still a line of people waiting to turn onto the roads when we got there. But we got a great parking spot. And yeah, so we got there. We immediately went to Jenny the Potter. We went to the main barn. We found the Jenny the Potter line. It wasn't long. So we got there at a good time and just queued up. Because obviously Jenny the Potter does a limited edition mug for every event that she goes to. And so we wanted to see this year's mug for Sheep and Wool. So yeah, we queued up, we hung out. With people and talked to people. I ran into people who remember me from my days at Knit Happens at the old shop, which was really nice. It was really very nice and very nice to hear that they had such great memories of the place. It's been recently, I loved that place, but it's only been recently that I, can contribute. I know that sounds awful, but I loved it. I loved everybody I dealt with. But it's taken me a while for me to deal. Anyway, you don't want to hear about that. So, hanging out in line was fun. Getting there, like when they finally opened, by the time Michelle and I got into the Jenny the Potter booth, she had sold out of all of the 2014 mugs. And it's because people who were in front of us were getting 4 or 5 mugs at a time because they were buying for others. And I totally understand that. I was actually buying for my bestie who lives in Ohio. But there weren't any. The nice thing that she was doing was that she was special ordering those. She was doing special orders for those. So I immediately placed a special order for 2. Michelle placed a special order as well. I may have gotten another mug just because it's got sheep yarn and looks a lot like my other mug. So when I get the Maryland Sheep and Wool one, I will show you guys because I am excited. It's very, very cute. There's a yarn bomber. So yeah, so that was Jenny the Potter. And then Michelle and I started wandering around the main barn, which is where Jenny the Potter was this year. And in the main barn are two places that I absolutely adore. Loop, you know, the fiber bumps. Yeah. Into the world. I guess I should say 3. Loop, Into the World. There's someplace else I didn't go to though. Anyway, so I may have fallen down, gone boom. So at the Loop booth, I actually was good. I only walked out with 2. We're going to ignore the fact that I've got other bumps in there. But this is the first bump. This is a color called Blacklight. It's 4.6 ounces of Merino, Coopworth, and Angelina. Now, I've never spun Coopworth. I cannot wait to see what that shows up like. I don't know. I'm just really in love with like all the bright colors. And this is not usually me. So I'm excited about that. And I mean, they were lovely at Loop. And I kept going back and forth about this color, and somebody at the booth was just like, you know, even if it's not their favorite color, I find that people will buy the color that they're wearing. I was wearing this. This is what I was going back and forth on. Notice the thing? Yeah. This is the Brackish Waters colorway. And this is a Merino Bamboo Tessa Silk. And I've actually spun all of those before, just not in that combination, I think. And it's beautiful and soft and I could snuggle these. I may have grabbed them and said pretty and nuzzled them in the booth because, you know, I have no shame. And of course, Into the World. Now, last year was the year of the yarn. I got yarn from Into the World. This year, I did get a skein of yarn because, again, Doctor Who reference. Oh, come on. Yes. You can do it. All right. If you couldn't see that, it's Blink. It's the Blink colorway. And this is on the Gloucester 2-ply Superwash Merino Nylon 80/20. I thought about getting another base, but I really like how the Gloucester feels when it's knit up. It's bouncy, it's sturdy. So, yeah, I picked that up. But this year was the year of fiber. And it started because I saw Captain Tight Pants. So this is an 85/15 Polworth silk. And while I have not gotten into Firefly, and that's because I haven't watched it, really, I know a lot about it. A lot of my friends are into it, and one of these days I will get sucked in. And then I will be upset because there is no more. But yeah, I love the colors. Holy crap, the colors are awesome. And really, Nathan Fillion is just hot. So, and again, another colorway that I am not part of the fandom of, 221B. Now, if you don't know, you've lived under a rock. Reference to Sherlock. Reference to the show Sherlock, or really anything Sherlock Holmes, but really it's a reference to the show Sherlock. 221B Baker Street is where Sherlock Holmes lives. And this is in the Falkland, and it's just beautiful. Again, another fandom I'm not a part of as of yet, because I can't have my heart broken by Stephen Moffat more than just a few times a year. And he does that really well with Doctor Who, so. And then this one, I'm sure there's a fandom to it. I do not know what it is. I just picked it because it's pretty, and it kind of goes with the, okay. I'm on a color kick, apparently. So this is the Into the World Godswood in the Polworth. So I have a Polworth Silk, the Falkland, and the Polworth. I wanted to make sure I had different bases. And yeah. So if I do this, and I hold up 221B, yeah, you see the grays and the purples, and then I just add Captain Tight Pants into it with all the teals, and yeah. Apparently I'm on a kick. I'm going to be okay with this. So yeah, we walked around the main barn. We looked for things. I saw the Spanish peacock spindles. I did not go in because I knew that, and I saw Golding spindles. I wanted to go in to both of those. I did not because I just can't fall in love with something else. I will eventually, but yeah, we just walked around the main barn, and then we decided that we wanted to go up and see Kate from Gourmet Stash and Vanessa from Vintage Rose, because Vanessa was in town and she was vending with Kate this at Maryland Sheep and Wool, and I had met Vanessa at Homespun Yarn Party, so I was thrilled that she was coming back so soon for this. And Michelle has, has heard me talk about her. I think she actually ordered on the Etsy site. I'm not sure, back when it was the Etsy site. So yeah. So after lots and lots of, oh my God, hi, it's blah, blah, yeah, there was serious shopping that had to be done. So from Vintage Rose, I got the shawl pin. So a nice blank shawl pin, and I don't think I got, yeah, this one wasn't the big one. But this way I can actually add some charms to it, make it all nice and pretty. Yeah. And then I got, oh, I forget what it's called. It's the drinking one. She has two. It's not I Love to Drink. Okay, really? Come on. Honestly? Okay, you can kind of see. Yeah, there we go. But it's basically cocktails and wine, and yeah. I had to get that. And then I'm trying to space this one out a little bit more. Okay. This was the set for Maryland Sheep and Wool. So you can see that we have the sheep for Sheep and Wool. We've got the crab for Maryland blue crabs. I forget what that was. The Key, Francis Scott Key, who wrote the Star Spangled Banner, and the Lighthouse. All very cool. These were limited. They only had a few for Saturday. They wanted to, Vanessa wanted to save some for Sunday. I'm sure she sold out of them because they are fantastic. And then finally, because I actually didn't have one of these before, but I had this charm. This is, okay, come on, stop. It's a TARDIS. I have one, but this one has a lobster claw. So the lobster claw clasp, well, I can put that in my work. I can easily put it on my necklace. Yeah, very happy with these. So I made sure to get one of those, and then I fell down, went boom with the poonies, because, I do. Oh, well, wait. I also picked up the Gourmet Stash Lolo bar. So this is green tea mint and like an undertone of gunpowder. It's very clean, very fresh. It's not like uber feminine, so very unisex scent. So that's going to come to work with me, or go to work with me. So the first set of poonies I got were merino wool, yak, and silk. Okay, come on, there we go. And the Peacock Dreams. I know, isn't that just luscious? So, so pretty. Yeah. Trying to think of where I can put these and they're not going to get hurt until I can wrap them up again. Down there is going to have to work. Next up was the Maryland Sheep and Wool colorway. So this is a superfine merino, yak, silk, bamboo, milk fiber, sari silk, and Angelina. And why won't this? Come on. All right. It's not going to focus. I don't know why. But again, superfine merino, yak, silk, bamboo, milk fiber, sari silk, and Angelina. And it's Spinner's Hill at MDSW. And it's an exclusive to that. And oh my goodness, this is beautiful. This really was one of those, just here's my wallet, take my money because it's all yours. And I've never spun with milk fiber or sari silk. So this should be fun. This should be very fun. Yeah, when Kate saw me, she's just like, I have stuff. And I'm like, oh. And then because she didn't have any of this pulled out because she'd sold through all of that, so she restocked quickly. And yeah, I was a very happy camper. Yeah, that's not it. That's not it. Hi, it's me. And then I got an ounce of the Paint Box Remnants, which is mixed BFL, silk, merino, sea cell, Angelina. There's 28% of something and 6% of something. I'm thinking that's just a typo, but yeah. So it's these grays with these pops of blue and green and yellow and oh, so, so nice. Oh. But yeah, that was Gourmet Stash. I loved seeing them. I made sure to that Michelle and I went back up before we left for the day because I love them so hard. They're awesome. I will probably, since the wheel is empty, because you know this, I will probably throw a set of the Poonies onto the wheel just to kind of have a quick palette cleanser. I love how the Poonies spin. I am still working on the Poonies that are in my, or that are on my bottom world spindle, and they're just fun. They go so quickly. I just need to sit down and do it. So yeah. And let's see, I'm sure there's something else. Oh, yes, there is. We made our way through the barns, and we made our way to the fiber optic yarn booth. So I got a 80/20 superwash merino nylon 15 mini skeins, about 450 yards total, and the bitter lime rose gradient. I probably should have found the one that had more yardage in them, but I'll find something to do with this. I mean, it's just so damn pretty, you know? This was the only thing I got from Fiber Optic. I saw a couple of the braids that I really wanted. I wanted like 8 different colorways, and I really couldn't justify it. I did show some restraint. So that's, it seems like it seemed yesterday like I got so much more, but I guess not. Yeah. So let's go with what's making me happy. And wow, this is still long no matter what. So Sheep and Wool. Sheep and Wool was so much fun. Lots of shopping, obviously. Got to show off the new party. I got to talk to people who watch the show and some who don't. I went to the unofficial podcaster meetup, and it's the first kind of meetup I've ever been to. So I got to meet Leslie and Laura from the Knit Girls, which I squeed about, and I did not completely fangirl over them because, I showed some restraint. But I got to meet, Michelle and I ran into Sarah, who is the hostess of the Fiber Trek podcast. I think it's fibertrektv.com. I have the button here somewhere. I will find it. I will post it. I'll post a link to it. But Sarah is very sweet. She is also one of the people who puts the Highlands on the Fly retreat in Maine in October on. She works with the NEOC, so the New England Outdoor, I forget what the C is, but NEOC.com. And she has worked with Katie and Heather to put together that. And so it was wonderful to run into her. We were just walking down the main strip, and she was just like, Holly, Michelle. And yeah, it was so good to see her. And she was handing out buttons, and she was planning on going to the podcaster meetup as well. So we ran into her down there as well. And we hung out. We were talking to people. Like I said, I got to meet Leslie and Laura of the Knit Girls. I got to see all the people that I live close to that I don't normally see. So I got to see and meet Emily, or I know both Emilys. But I got to see Emily from What You Swatchin' and from Fibertown, because I had to get the Emily fix, and I was like, oh my God. I got to meet the hostess of the Yarns at Yinhu podcast, Sarah Pomegranate on Ravelry. She's so very sweet. And I did not get to meet, but I saw Savvy Girl Melanie of the Savvy Girls podcast. And if you don't listen to that one, you really should. I mean, it's hilarious. I love that Melanie is a knitter, but she is also a singer. And she goes around, like, she's got gigs all over the country and all over the world. Like her last one, which she recorded when she was in Morocco. Where, I love that. But she also has recorded a CD of knitting songs, which I keep meaning to buy, and so I need to do that. But I saw her like behind me. Like I turned around, I was like, "Oh my God, it's Savvy Girl Melanie!" And I turned back to finish my conversation, and when I turned back, she was gone. So it was like sad. But I got to meet viewers. I got to meet some viewers. I got to meet so many people and talk to so many people about the podcast, and I handed out buttons. Crafters are just the best people. I got to tell you that. And before that, we got to see some sheep escape a sheepdog. Like they had sheepdog trials, and 3 sheep escaped, and they escaped the corral or the pen or whatever, and they were like wandering around like, okay, let's go. Where are we going? I don't know. Then the sheepdogs would come out, and then the sheep would run, and then the sheepdogs would follow them, and then the sheepdog trainers would be, gave them instructions, and finally got them. It was fun. It was hilarious. But yeah, so we did that. We walked around. It was just a fabulous day. Like I said, I got a little burned, got a little weird suntan because of the lace. I would do it all again. I opted to not go today. I generally go one day of the 2. And generally it's Saturday just because there's so many people there that I know that I'm going to run into. I ran into some friends that I haven't seen in a while, which was nice. And plus I know that a lot of the people who are coming in just, who are coming in from out of town are going to be there just for the day. So that it's really nice to be able to see and connect with those people. So if you are watching because you met me at Maryland Sheep and Wool, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I hope you enjoyed this. It's not always so enhancement heavy, but sometimes it is. I'm not gonna lie. But I hope you had you enjoyed yourself. I hope you had a great time at Sheep and Wool if you went. If you went and I missed you, I'm so sorry. I hope that I'll get to see you. If you're local, I really hope I get to see you sooner rather than later. Let's see. If you are interested in the Highlands on the Fly retreat, you should go to neoc.com, and I think it's under events, and you should sign up because it's a good time. Yeah. So last time I recorded, I did tell you that I wanted to add an Ask Me Anything thread to Ravelry. And we did have one person who submitted some questions. And I'm going to go ahead and answer them all because they kind of all, they're short. Or I think most of them are. I need to take a look at that. So let's see. So Emmy Stitcher, who is from Maine, it's Monica. And I met her at the Highlands on the Fly retreat last year. So hi, Monica. She asked, why did you decide to start a podcast? What is your absolute favorite yarn to knit with, your favorite fiber to spin with, and are you coming to the Highlands on the Fly retreat this fall? I hope so. Actually, I'm going to split those questions up because I want to be able, we're already at like 47 minutes, and I want to be able to give you guys some other questions. But if you have questions, please post them in the thread. They're there. I would love to hear them. So how/why did I decide to start a podcast? It was one of those things that I used to have a knitting blog for years. It's gone. It's gone. It used to be hosted on Typepad way back when. And it was called Knit Girl Stash. And I had it for years. And I kind of slowly went away from it. So I didn't really have a way to catalog and talk about what I was working on. I mean, yes, I can do that on Ravelry, but I'm supremely lazy. I am supremely lazy when it comes to that. So I decided that I just wasn't going to do it. So after a few years of not blogging, I don't know, I watched a lot of podcasts and I just thought, hey, why not? I'll do that. I'll throw it out there and we'll see if anybody watches. And people did. People started watching, and they were people that I didn't know, and because it was like I kind of gave myself the unofficial, I'll give it a few episodes. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm not going to invest in it. I'm not going to do anything. But once I started getting feedback, I started investing in the podcast and making things work. So yeah. It's been a process, kind of evolving to where I am, and I hope that I constantly evolve. And this is where I tell everybody, if you've got suggestions, let me know. I want to do my best with this. So, yeah. So that's pretty much how and why I started knitting, or I started podcasting. Knitting's a different story. And I do it just because I hear back from people and I get the nicest notes from people. And yeah, so thank you. Thank you all for watching. Monica, thank you for posting that. I'll answer the second question about my favorite fiber and yarn next week or next time. But I will answer the third question because that's probably the most important. Am I going to the Highlands on the Fly retreat? Yes. Yes, I am. So I will see you there. And if the rest of you want to know more about that, like I said, go to neoc.com and look it up. I believe it's a link on the main page. It's been a while since I've been on there, but it is a fun retreat. It really is. It's very laid back. There are, there are workshops. It's got a great marketplace. Sarah said that the marketplace is going to be even better this year, and it was pretty good last year. So yeah, Michelle and I have already started plans, thinking about how we're getting up there. We're thinking that we might drive this year so we can bring my wheel, which would be nice. So we'll see. But yeah, I am planning on going. I just haven't been really active in the Highlands on the Fly group. But yeah. So with that, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you are a returning viewer, thank you. You know how much you mean to me. And if you are brand new, welcome. I hope you enjoyed yourself. It's like I said, not always stash heavy, but sometimes it is. Have a great week, everyone. Happy spinning, knitting, crocheting, and I'll see you next time. Bye.